How you doing, beautiful people? Saleem Messiah, hosting Necessary Conversations. Thank you guys for all your support so far. I really appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed. If you watched Benny's episode Slim TV with me featuring Nona, I told you guys merch is coming soon. It's here. We got colors in red, blue, black, and yellow. If you want to buy one, support a brother at King__Messiah on Instagram or at AIC on air on Instagram as well for the AIC Radio Instagram page. Support a brother. Get with me. Necessary Conversations, baby. Appreciate y'all. Welcome back to Necessary Conversations. I'm your host, Saleem Messiah. I got
Anna.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the other group. I guess I'm doing it by myself today.
Terrence said you were, having a meeting at 1 and everything, but I'll probably just clip it on to what they did and everything like that.
Yeah.
How was the culture night?
It was really fun. I got to get there early and everything because I'm part of the Latina leaders, obviously also in the ACE program. So we got to set up and everything, and it was really fun to do it with everybody. I was in an African group. I performed 2 different times Spanish songs, and then for the Latina leaders group we had face painting. So a lot of people came up and they asked me for their flags. The most difficult flag to paint was probably the Jamaican flag, just because the big white, because it would smear. So, I was trying to do it, and then I kind of went on someone's face. It was, it dripped down to the bottom of their face. But it was fun. Yeah.
So you're good with art and stuff like that?
I tried to be. I like painting, when in, high school. Yeah. Or just, sketching every now and then. Yeah.
You got any, paintings or drawings you did that's just okay, I like this one?
I don't really have them with me or pictures of them, but I did this sketch of my school. It was a project that we had to do, and it was we had an art an art show, and mine got picked. So I guess I'm okay.
You might be all right.
Yeah,
You did
I dabble.
You did a sketch of the building?
Yeah, so it was a perspective assignment. So we had to pick a building or something like that. So I picked the school. Yeah. Okay.
The easiest one. That's where you at the moment.
Literally. I was coming back from practice and I was I don't even know what to paint. So I just took a picture of the building and used that. So.
Where you from?
I'm from Connecticut.
Connecticut?
Yeah. I mean, originally I'm from the Dominican. So I moved here when I was 10 and then to Connecticut, yeah.
Dang. What part of Connecticut you from?
Where Middletown is?
From Jersey. I don't know too much
Okay,
about
so
it.
it's right in the middle basically, but I live in the woods, not in the city at all.
Okay.
Just all woods.
How was growing up in the Dominican Republic?
It was really fun. I just remember school is very different.
Really?
We don't really have that many electives, so you really just go for your core classes and then a language and gym. So that's your electives. And then because you don't have that many classes, you're done at 12. So I remember that I used to go to the beach almost every day because I lived in the upper part of it, so I was right next to the beach. Yeah. So I would go every day after school, just be at the beach with my friends.
What time school start?
7.
So you only there for 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You only there for 4 or 5 hours?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you only have the core subjects and then you're done with the day, really. That's what, and then you know what it is very different. So because there are so many kids and not a lot of schools, obviously, because it's a third world country, it would be split into half. So there would be kids that would come in at 1 or 2. Okay. And then they would be at school to 6. Oh, so I was in the morning group.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Did you ever want to switch that off?
No, at all. Because I liked being home for dinner and stuff, and I feel everything that you do, it's later in the day. And I'm a morning person, so it's just easy for me to wake up and go. I remember my brother was not, but because I was older, because he's just 4 years. Yeah, he's 4 years younger than me. Okay. So when he first started going to school, we would walk to school. So I would have to go with him, obviously, because I was the older one. So I would have to drop him off at his school and then walk to my school. So we couldn't do the afternoon one either because my mom worked in the afternoon. So I don't know.
How do they pick you guys are gonna go from 1 to 6 and you guys are how does that work?
I think it was alphabetical.
Okay.
The top. Or you could really pick if you wanted to, but most of the time they just did it alphabetically. My friend Madeline, her last name was O, so she would go in the afternoon, and then because my last name is Garcia, I would go in the morning.
So just because.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, they started doing it where it's you just pick depending where your parents go, but when you're first put into it, they just put you where you need to go, and then if you have a conflict, you can switch which day.
Okay. What else you remember about growing up in the Dominican Republic?
Just like the sports, like really, like right now I do track here.
Okay.
But I really got into sports when I moved here because I didn't have any sports for girls, and the only like sport that you could play there really like it was baseball because everybody in the Dominican plays baseball. So like my brother, he was like in a private like team, like a club team that you had to like try out for because everybody wanted to be in it, and there was just not enough like teams around like for that.
Yeah.
So he would be doing that, and I remember just like playing. Like there was this area in front of our houses because all the houses were like really close together, but there was like this open area, and I remember playing, and we would make like the bases like flattened water bottles, and you had to step on the water bottle.
Yeah.
We'd use like a broken broom for the bat, and then like I don't even like we'd probably use the normal ball for that, but just like anything we could find. Like it was pretty fun just growing up. Like thinking back, I didn't really have that much, but it was just like it is what you make it, and it was just really fun. Like we would play, we would do kind of just anything. I remember literally walking around barefoot. Like now I'm just like why would I do that? Like but like it was just normal. Like everybody was just barefoot. Really like when you're playing and stuff. So
how was it? I mean, because baseball is a very hard sport.
It is.
But now you're using a skinnier bat.
Exactly.
Really
I feel like that's why like Dominicans are so good at baseball. Looking. Because we're like started with like the skinny bat, and then you get a bigger one. Maybe that's a hot take.
Man,
maybe I
that's
just
interesting.
Cracked the code.
You might have.
I think so.
You might have, because I know. Is it Juan Soto from out there? Juan Soto.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I keep hearing you say Dominican. Do you guys not call it the Dominican Republic?
Well, we call it like Dominicana.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I just say Dominican just because it's such a long name, and I feel like a lot of people forget that it's like Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So it's like in the Spanish is República Dominicana, like the republic's in front of the Dominican. So like we just say the end, but really here it's like the beginning. So I guess it's like different, but.
Okay. How was it when you guys first moved from there to Connecticut?
We came in March, so it was like winter. And I've never experienced winter before at all. So like when I first came and like because we came with our step-parents.
Yeah.
With my stepdad. So we came and we got in the car, and then it was just really cold. And my grandma, she had brought like a coat for me and my brother, and we looked at it and we're like, what is that? Like we'd never seen a coat in our lives. Like I'm telling you, I was like, what are you putting on me?
Yeah.
And she was like, it's a coat. And I'm like, oh.
What do we need that for?
What is that for? Like, and she was like, to keep you warm. It's cold. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I remember going to a pizza place. Yeah. And I feel like it wasn't that different because obviously we have pizza places there, but like I just saw so like not to be like racist or anybody. I was like, there's so many gringos here. Like that's what we call like people from like the U.S. or like white people in the Dominican. I was like, oh my gosh, there's like no like what? It was just it was like fun, like just experiencing back at it, but it was kind of weird. Like I wasn't used to it obviously, and it was just like everyone. Like, my brother. He didn't know any English, whereas, like, I went to school, like, a separate English school, which is also kind of the reason why school was, like, half, because in the other half of the day, you could go to a language school. Like, right next to my school was a language school, so I went to that. I learned English for 2 years before I came here. So I already kind of, like, knew, and I was kind of, like, fluent, but my brother didn't know anything. He was only 6, so, like, I would translate everything from him, basically, when my mom was, like, working or something, so... That was, like, the only kind of, like, hard part about it, other than, like, obviously adjusting, like, in the Dominican, because the year is, like, shorter, too. Yeah. And because I skipped 2 grades, like, when I came here, I was 10, but I was in 6th grade. So then they were like, oh, we're going to put you back to, like, 4th grade. And I was like... like, looking back now, I'm like, I really could have been 2 grades ahead. Like, I would have been a junior at this point. But now I'm just a freshman. So sad.
Well, you mentioned, like, you know, when you were ending school, you go to the language school. Was it to, like, you knew you were coming to the U.S. eventually, or you just wanted to learn English?
My mom worked at a resort. So she had to learn English because it was, like, a tourist resort. Like, that was the place you would go. So she just, like, saw how, like, it brought a lot of opportunities for her knowing English and Spanish. So because I was, like, smart when I was, like, really little, she was like, I'm just going to put you in the English, like, a language school to get it now, obviously. Because it's also better to put you in a school like that, make you learn a language when you're younger. So she was like, she didn't know at that time they were going to move. or anything, or she was going to marry my stepdad.
Yeah.
But she just wanted me to learn it to, like, bring, like, more opportunities where
Okay.
I'd be able to, like, deal with, you know, people from other places.
Okay. I just had the last group on, and we, they're from different countries, so we were talking about, like, the winter and how when they came over here, they seen snow and everything like that. Was you okay with the snow when you came over here?
I didn't want to go out on it. My brother, on the other hand, he really wanted to go. And he was still, like, super attached to me because he didn't know any, like, English. He couldn't communicate with everybody.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to be, like, dragged out. But I remember we made, like, an igloo. That was, like, the first thing that I wanted to do. I was like, I want to make an igloo. I want to see if we can figure out. We did not figure out the first time at all. Like, it literally fell down. My brother went under, and he literally got stuck in the snow. I got so scared. I was like, Mom, can you come here? Evan's literally under the snow. And she was like, it's fine, just dig him out. I was like, if he's dying. I was like, it was, like, kind of scary at the time. But then we figured it out. I feel like that's my favorite, like, snow activity now. Just, like, making an igloo and, like, snowball fights.
Really?
Yeah. Like, my brother, because he was playing baseball, and because I kind of, like, played with him and, like, all my friends when we were in the Dominican, like, we would literally chuck balls, like, hard. Like, we would try to get each other really bad. And I remember one time he, like, hit me in the face. And I didn't, like, feel it really because we were outside for a long time. And, like, my face was, like, all red. And my dad, like, went outside and he was like, Evan, don't you ever hit anybody in the face like that with snow? You could cut them. He was, like, he started crying. He felt so bad, but it was really funny. But, yeah, at first I didn't want to go on it at all. It was just not my vibe. I like being hot. I don't like being cold.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just telling him how I keep the air conditioner all year round.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. I literally, my RA, Renisha, I'm friends with her. I go in her room, she has the air conditioner in there. I don't last in there for very long. I'm like, okay, I have to go get a sweatshirt or something. I make a joke every time whenever it's cold that I'm cold-blooded because I came from, like, a warm country. She's like, you know, like reptiles, how they can't thrive in cold weather because their body's not meant for it? That's me. I just can't do it.
You don't like the cold at all?
I like winter season as in, like, Christmas, but, like, I don't like feeling cold.
The weather?
I don't like feeling cold at all.
No?
Like, we go to track meets, and it's, like, in the winter.
Yeah.
We have to practice outside because we don't have an indoor track here. So we practice outside, and then if it's snowing, we'll go inside. But if it's, like, 30 degrees, we'll be outside, and I'll be, like, running with, like, 4 layers on. It's just, I don't understand it. I don't want to do it, and I feel like winter just should not exist. Like, there's no need for it.
You don't think it should exist?
No. Why wouldn't you want summer in, like, spring?
Too hot.
What about spring and fall?
Fall is cool. I mean, regardless of what season, the air conditioner's still going on.
True, I guess.
Doesn't
I guess.
matter. It doesn't really matter to me. I just don't like the snow side of things.
Yeah, I got you.
Like, you mentioned building igloos. We've never done that.
Never. I think it's just because I saw it in, like, TV so much. And I was like, I wanted to live the typical American childhood, I guess.
When you're a kid and you like, okay, it's snowing, no school, that's the best.
Yeah.
Then when your parents tell you to go shovel it, whole different ball.
Yeah, no.
Now you don't want to do it
That was
no more.
so bad. My grandma had this, like rock driveway. So you would be, and she's like, don't lift up the rocks. I'm like, how am I supposed to differentiate between the snow and the rocks when it's like 3 feet of snow? But I don't know. Yeah, no. My dad finally got a snowplow. Like, now we don't shovel because we would literally, like, not do it for a whole 3 hours. He'd be like, can you go shovel? And we'd be like, yeah. 3 hours go by. We haven't done it yet.
Yeah, you know, because who wants to go outside and shovel?
No. That's why.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, how did you not get accustomed to the cold yet? You know, Northeast for so long.
I did get accustomed to it. I just don't like it. I still don't like it. I know how to be warm now. Like, I know what I need to wear.
Yeah.
I know, like before when I would read the weather, I wouldn't know if it was, like, cold. Because it was also in Celsius. Like, in Dominican, it's Celsius. Here it's, like, Fahrenheit. Yeah. So I didn't, like, get used to that. Well, I'll see 65, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then I'll go outside, and it's windy, and I'm, like, freezing. And I didn't bring a coat or anything.
Massachusetts lies to you a lot about the weather.
Yes. Yeah. Literally. And Connecticut's the same way. Like, it'll be really nice out. Like, you know how we had that week where it was, like, 75, and then the next week it snowed?
Yes.
Like, that's literally Connecticut weather all the time, too.
Really?
I mean, they're right next to each other, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, no.
No, not for me. Not for me. What was one of the first things, like, you know, you mentioned when you go to the pizza shop and you see all the Caucasian people, you like, you know, oh, this is different. But what's something else when you came over here? You like, this is whole different. This is really different.
Probably just like the houses. Maybe it's just because, like, I was from, like, a third world country. Like, all the houses that I lived in were made out of, like, concrete because it was hot and, like, the floor is, like, tiles. to like make it cold like in the house.
Yeah.
But when I came, it was all like wood and stuff like that. When we came to my grandma's house, which is where we lived, all of us, it was like 2 stories. Like most houses are only 1,
Okay.
and they're just like long. If it is like
Yeah.
more than like 2 or 3 bedrooms, and they're just long, they're not tall. So I was like, that was one of the not weird, but just like shocks of it. Yeah. And then I like there was carpet on the floor, and I was like, why is there carpet on the floor? Like, you know, on the stair runners, like that. I was like, I mean, it's comfy, I guess. And like for the bedrooms, like there was like carpet and everything, and I was like, what even is this for? But then I realized the cold, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably one of the biggest shocks. Just like seeing everything just like more advanced than what I was growing up with. Like it was like different. Like the TVs, phones, everything just like upscaled, I guess. Like it was kind of different. Yeah. And the cars too.
Yeah.
Like my grandpa, he has this car. He still has it. We went to the Dominican like 3 years ago. And it's the one where you have to like roll it with
the roll for the window, right?
Yeah, the roll for the window. So I came here and I didn't know how to turn the window down. And she was like, can you turn the window down? I was like, how? How do I do it? And she was like, just press the button. A button? Okay.
And if you press it one time, it goes all the way down. You
Exactly. I was like, whoa.
Different technology.
Actually, yeah, no, I didn't know that. I found that out this year.
Really?
Yeah. I still didn't know that you could just press it and go down. Because my car, the windows were like broken or something like that. So it was only my driver's side that it was going down. Because I was in like, I could have all the controls. So I pressed it by accident and it all went down. I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm still getting culture shocks like that. Like, I think I'm, like, very accustomed to, like, the American lifestyle and everything. And then I have, like, these culture shocks. I'm like, oh, okay.
So life is about learning. That's what life is about. What about the food aspect? Is it very different?
Well, my mom did a lot of the cooking while we were here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I still, like, have, like, my Dominican, like, food. But what was different was my grandparents, they're Polish.
Yeah.
So they, like, when for Thanksgiving, that was also a big thing, like, Thanksgiving. I didn't know that was really a thing. But when we had Thanksgiving and stuff like that, they'd make, like, pierogies, carrot cake, like, things like that, like the ham and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, the mustard. I didn't know mustard was a thing, even though I feel like that's just a condiment for everyone. I didn't even know that was a thing. Maybe, I don't know. It was just different. But a lot of, like, Polish, like, meals we had, and it was like very different. I didn't know any of it, and I feel like it's not bland, but it's like a mix of so many different things, like with fruits and stuff. Like maybe it's just because I wasn't used to it, but I still don't like cooked fruit, and it's like in a lot of like desserts and stuff that like is made here, like apple pie, obviously carrot cake and stuff like that. I don't like cooked fruit. Maybe
you don't like carrot cake?
I like carrot cake.
Okay.
When you don't like see the carrot or anything. Like, I like the taste of it, but I don't like, I mean, I think it's like a texture thing. Like, I don't like jam because of that. So I feel like it was just that. I'm used to, like, climbing trees and getting a mango. That's
really?
Why. Yeah, no, my grandfather in the Dominican, he, like, taught us how to climb, like, mango trees and get the mangoes. That was also one of, like, my favorite parts about being there. You just, like, go and get stuff.
So you came here and you was like, well, I can't go get that.
Yeah, no, I was like, We went to Florida, and we saw, like, a coconut tree.
Okay.
And we were like, obviously you can't really climb a coconut tree, but we would try to like get it out, and like there would be people that climbed it. Yeah. And then if you go to the beach in the Dominican, there's people that come around and they have like carts full of just coconuts, and you can buy it. And I thought when we first went to the beach, first off, beaches here are completely like just terrible. The sand in the Dominican is so nice and soft and fluffy. Yeah. And, like, the water is, like, so clear and, like, blue. And I came here and I was so disappointed.
What was the first beach you went to?
I think I went to Himmanasset. And, like, it's in Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I went to, like, Watch Hill. Watch Hill's better in Rhode Island. So I went there and it was a little bit better. And then I went to Florida and I saw, like, it was a little nicer, like, a little more blue. Yeah. So that was, like, a difference. But yeah, they would come around and you could buy one. So when I went to the beach, I was like, oh, can we buy a coconut? She was like, where are you going to get a coconut from? I'm like, don't they go around with the coconut thing? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh. Yeah, that doesn't. That's sad.
Maybe a coconut icy.
Maybe.
Anything.
Yeah.
It's the most you're going to get.
That was one of the things that I got introduced to the most, like desserts. Yeah. Like, that's not really a thing. Like, you have your, like, puddings, your flan.
Yeah.
But that's, you have those, like, desserts, like, for big events, like Christmas and
Okay.
stuff. Not, like, every other day. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know you had, like, dessert, like, almost every day. Like, my grandma, she would make a cake, and she's like, oh, I'm just making a cake for what? What are we celebrating?
Yeah, that's my mom. She makes a cake just because.
Yeah. Now my mom, she's making a cake every day. I went home, like, the other, like, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, I made cookies. I'm about to make some cake right now. Do we need these many things? Like, why are we making all these things? But I guess she's very used to it now, so.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. People just, make cakes and things for no reason. But you mentioned you didn't really know too much about Thanksgiving. Y'all don't celebrate that over there?
It's not a thing over there.
No?
But, I mean, because Thanksgiving came about because they were trying to bring, like, the Pilgrims and, like, the other people, like, together, right? So, like, that wasn't, like, our history. So it just wasn't a thing there. Like, we don't really have anything similar to that. It's just like Christmas.
So around the time we're doing Thanksgiving, y'all literally just living your lives still?
Mhm.
Really?
One thing that we don't really have is like breaks. Like we don't have we have Semana Santa, which is like the same as like April break, like Easter break.
Mm-hmm.
That's because it's like a religious thing, especially like in Spanish countries. That's a big thing too. And then we have Christmas break, but Christmas break isn't that long either. It's like only a couple days.
Oh no.
Yeah, like here we have like a month from college.
Yeah.
Where we have off, and then like in high school we have like a week or a half, like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Like we don't really have that for that. The biggest one is the April one. I think that's also why like our year is like shorter. We don't really have like breaks.
I think here it's like 180 days of school.
Mm-hmm.
How many days y'all gotta do?
I'm not sure. I was there a long time ago.
Dang, y'all don't got breaks? I need my breaks from school.
I think it's also because our days are shorter too.
Yeah.
So we have like the whole half of the day to like do stuff. Whereas like, and also sports aren't a thing, like after school sports.
No?
So like we didn't really have sports in Dominican.
They don't have like baseball teams a part of the school and stuff like that?
Mm-mm.
Really? So y'all just playing baseball for fun?
Yeah,
by
literally
yourselves?
just for fun, basically. And if you really wanted to pursue it, then you would go to like clubs and stuff. But you'd have to like try out, like really. It would be hard because like everyone wanted to do it. So, yeah.
That's not. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, that's why like when I came here, I started sports in like my freshman year.
Yeah.
So like track, I've only been doing it for 3 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What got you on the track? What made you want to do that? Why not softball or something? Why not
I
softball?
did
or something?
softball because my brother was doing baseball and I did
Yeah.
softball. I was just really bad at hitting. Like I could not hit for the life of me. And then my coach is like, just bunt it and then go on the base.
Yeah.
And I played center field, and usually like center field men are fast. Like they're the fastest on like the field. So then I was like, okay, so I'm fast at that. And then my coach, he was like, just bunt it. And every time you're there, I'm not even going to give you a signal. Like, you know when they give you a signal to, like, steal the bases?
Yeah.
I was, like, the one person on the team that didn't need a signal. He was just like, just run.
Okay.
Every time you're on the base. Just go and, like, steal the base. So I was like, I'm basically just doing running. Like, I'm running after the ball in the field.
Yeah.
I'm stealing bases every time, not really hitting. Let me just try running. So then I tried running my sophomore year.
Okay.
And then I just kept it. Yeah. So.
Did you quit softball after that?
It goes on in the same season, so
Yeah.
I just quit it.
Damn.
I also liked it because my stepdad, he played professionally. He went to Georgia State for baseball, and then
Okay.
he played like in the minor leagues
Mm.
for a long time. So he was like doing that professionally, and my brother's really good at baseball.
Yeah.
So I kind of just wanted a thing that I did by myself because I also did basketball, and he did it too, and my brother did it too.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have a sport that I can like bond with them over, but I
Yeah.
kind of want to do like my
Something
own
for
thing.
yourself.
Yeah.
Were you good at basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I was a shooting guard.
Okay. You good?
Yeah.
Like, what was your game like? Who do you think you?
Most of my job was like defense. Like I'd be really good at stealing the ball.
Okay.
Like we did a 1-3-1, and
Yeah.
I was at the top, and then I would be like, we would do a full court or like half court. So I was just good at like stealing, getting my hands on like people's faces and stuff, and
Yeah.
like just basically getting the ball back and like running with it. So
Okay. Okay. How was recruiting Ross for track like in high school?
for high school, it was kind of, I didn't really know much about the recruitment process, so I kind of had to like go into it kind of blind basically. I did a lot of research and stuff, but I knew I wanted to stay in like New England. Like I didn't want to go far.
Why?
Because I mean, I like the weather here and everything. Cold is fine. I can deal with the cold.
Yeah.
And like I didn't want to be that far from home either.
Yeah.
So I was just looking schools in New England, mostly for like my major and stuff. Like I wasn't really focused on track really. I filled out a bunch of like, you know, the recruitment sheets, and it's like very different with track because like with sports you have to have like highlight videos and everything. Track is just like, this is my time.
Numbers,
This is what I jump. Do you want me, yes or no?
Yeah.
Like it's not really like where they have to come see you and, like, seeing, like, how your dynamic is with, like, sports, like, if you're able to, like, do it and whatever, like. Yeah. So it's really just, like, this is my time. This is what I do. Do you want me, yes or no? Like I said. So I filled out recruitment forms for, like, a few schools. And then the coach from AIC, who's not the coach anymore, so he left this year. And we got Coach Mills. He was, like, calling me every day.
Really?
Yeah. And because I wasn't, like, completely sure that I was going to do, like, track, really. But we don't have any, like, high jumpers, which is what I do. Yeah. And one of our hurdlers, our only other girl hurdler, she's graduating this year. Okay. So I did hurdles and high jumps. So I was kind of filling 2 spots, basically. So he was, like, calling me. And then I decided I wanted to go to AIC because it was close. And, like, I wanted to, like, be more kind of in my culture and, like, seeing people from all different cultures, because, like, my school was predominantly white. Like, I was the only black and Hispanic girl, like, in my grade, really.
Really?
Yeah, there was another Hispanic girl. I think there were other 2, but I was, like, the only black girl.
Okay.
So I wanted to, like, get more in, like, the culture and stuff and, like, meet different people. So I was, like, I feel like AIC is a good place. So then I told him, and he was like, okay, great. And then I got a call, like, a month later, and my new coach, Coach Mills, he was like, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm taking over the team. Just wanted to get to know you because you're coming in as a freshman. So, yeah, that was fun. I then talked to him, and then it all worked out. So
that's, new coach just called you out of nowhere. Like, what was your, like, thought process on that? Like, oh, this is a new coach.
Well, because I hadn't really met Hart, which was our old coach, I didn't really have that, like, I guess, foundation of, like, connection that I had with him. Because I also decided really late. Like, I decided, like, today. Today was the day that I decided a year ago that I was going. So it wasn't, like, I had been talking to him for a while, and I really wanted to, like, meet him and stuff. So it was kind of easy for me to just, like, switch because I didn't really have much information with him. So it was just like, oh, okay, we got a new coach. That's fine. So, and then we got a new coach, was my jumping coach, which is Williams. And he joined us, like, in the middle of the first season, the winter season, because he was practicing with somebody else. And then my coach saw him, and he was like, hey, we need a throwing coach. And he was practicing with the throwing girl. And he was like, hey, do you want to come with us? And he was like, sure. So, yeah, now I work with him mostly because I do high jump. And, yeah, so it was nice. It was fine.
It's interesting. That's
yeah.
Was there any other school that had a chance to get you? Like
I really wanted to go. Actually, which is kind of funny, I was talking to the Delphi coach. We go against the Delphi, but there was like some trouble with, like, communication and stuff, so I kind of, like, just stopped talking to her for a little bit. But then I also wanted to go to, like, Ithaca, which is D3, but I really liked the school. Like, I went to visit it, but it was, like, 8 hours away from here. Yeah. It was really far, but I mean, yeah, those were kind of, like, the top 2 contenders. And then if I didn't like any of them, I was just going to stay in Connecticut and just go to, like, either Eastern or, like, SCSU, which we go against, too. So, yeah. I didn't really know SCSU had a track program.
Did they?
Really. Yeah, they do. They literally won the NE10 for the indoor, like, this past season. So.
That little football is... we don't really like them.
Oh, really? Yeah, dang.
That's multiple schools we don't like, but so we gotta. You mentioned you was looking like to go to school for your major. What's your major?
A psych and CJ major.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double?
So, yeah, I just started doing double now because I wanted to start just with psych, just to, like, get into it and then take a couple CJ courses, but, like, I declared it, like, this semester, doing both. So, yeah, I want to work, and I've always wanted to, like, do therapy, but I, like, looked into it in, like, foster care and, like, adoption, like, with that, like, working for the government and stuff. I also find it, like, really interesting. Like, there's literally an adoption therapist and a foster care therapist. Like, you can be with that and, like, work with foster kids and stuff and, like, talk to them through, like, their placement and stuff and just helping them out. So I knew I wanted to work with kids, and then I really liked the CJ part of it, so I'd probably go into, like, a field like that. So that's why I did both.
How's the double major going for you?
It's fine. I took some, like, sociology classes. Right now, I'm doing, like, a little bit better than I should be doing, just because in high school I took a psych class. So it gave me like credit and like another one. So it gave me credit for that. So I'm like, I already knew like some background of it. So I feel like that made it easier, like the transition to doing both. And I took a criminal justice class in high school, so it was just like easier having some background into it and just like getting into it. And also Terrence really helped me out with that because he just kind of told me which classes I needed to take to like get into it. Like I'm telling you, he just did my whole schedule for me. I really don't.
Me too. For 4 years, he did mine
he
too.
He did? Yeah.
Yeah. For the best. Terrence is great.
Yeah, he is.
Because when I look at that sheet and they say you got to take this or that or that.
I'm just like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes, like, when I look at the description for the classes, it doesn't really say anything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how am I supposed to know if I want to take it or not?
Yeah. I remember you talking about, like, when you're in Dominican Republic, the days are much shorter. Was it an adjustment coming here having to do, like, longer days?
Honestly, kind of, but I also liked that I was able to do like elective classes. Like I did chorus, like I obviously sang for like the culture night, and like my grandma, we were like, she was the director for like the church choir, which I went to, so like I would always like sing with her and stuff, so that was like pretty fun. I did like singing and stuff like that. It was just, honestly, I feel like it was a lot better just because I had those opportunities to do other things, like also art and everything. We didn't have like art classes, and you kind of stop taking like art when you're like in first grade because they're teaching you how to like draw and stuff. But after that, it's just like core classes. So I really liked having the opportunity to like, and the choice to just pick whatever I wanted to do with like my free time, and also like participate in sports and like clubs and stuff. Like I like being kind of active and like making decisions about like what's going on around me. So like student council, like student leaders, stuff like that. Like I really like doing that. So it was fun to have other things to do too. And also we didn't have a library like in the school, or like I don't even know where like the closest library was to like in the Dominican. So I like was a reader when I was little. Like I loved to read. So coming here, like my grandma like took me to a library, and I remember I took out like 7 books. I'm not even joking. I literally took out so many books, and I read them all like in 3 days. Like,
really?
Yeah, it was a lot. I really liked reading. So it was nice to just have that many like things to do, basically, rather than just like you just core classes and you just go and do homework and that's it. So that was
some of the books you read growing up. You got Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah, like Dork Diaries, stuff like that. Like those girly like books. Like, oh my god, my grandma, she like sent me from the U.S. She sent me like all those little like fairy books. Like the ones is like every fairy has a different name and it has like a different thing. Literally I had like 50 of them because there's so many of them. So she would just send me the first one she would see, and she would just keep sending them. And so I feel like those books were the first ones that I read like full in English, because obviously I was reading in Spanish, but I feel like those books kind of helped me with my English. Really.
Read Bones ever? Remember Bones, the book Bones?
No, I don't think so.
It was like a character, like a little cartoonish, like a comic book type of thing. And then it was like he had a dog, and they would go to like graveyards sometimes.
Maybe my brother read it.
Yeah.
I don't think I did though. I was very like, I think it was just because they were trying to like get me to read it more. But like it was all just like these girly books, like all of them. It was all like girly books. So, yeah.
So you mentioned you sang at the cultural night, which we'll get into. Where did the singing kind of start for you?
For me, it was my grandma, obviously. And then I just kept going. Like in high school, when I first came here in elementary school, it was my last year of elementary school. I came for like the elementary school graduation. It was like that May I enrolled in classes.
Yeah.
So I came and I was in school for like a month, and they were doing like this choir thing for like graduation, and I really liked it. So then in middle school, I took like choir classes. And I was very, very confident when I was little. I don't even know if I had that voice. But, like, I would try out for, like, the plays, like, the musicals and stuff. I would, like, do that. I remember I was literally... Have you seen this Seussical? Like, Dr. Seuss?
Yeah.
So, you know the story, like, Horton Hears Who? So, it's off of that story.
Okay.
And, you know, the, like, kangaroo?
Yeah.
So, she is, like, the villain in the Seussical.
Yeah.
So, I got the sour kangaroo. And there was, like, these parts where you had to, like, belt and stuff. And I just, like... I thought I was so cool because I was getting to belt in front of everybody.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just kept doing it. And they had, like, select choirs for high school and middle school. So, I tried out for those. I was in the select choir. I would get, like, solos and stuff. We would go to, like, competitions. So kind of like singing has been kind of like just in my whole life, basically. And I just kept pursuing it. And then here we don't have like a choir group or anything about it, I don't think. So Terrence was like, I told him, we were in our ACE class, because he was getting to know everybody. This was the first semester. And he was like, oh, just, like, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do. And I said that I liked singing and, like, writing and, like, playing the guitar. So he was like, later on in the year, when he started planning the cultural night, he was like, oh, I heard that you sang. Do you want to sing? So then in the fall, I sang this song, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, by, like, an adaptation by Leslie Grace. And she's Dominican. So she made, like, a bachata remix, and she made it, like, half Spanish, half English. So it was, like, I thought that was a good song to, like, do. Just because everybody knows it, and everybody knows the lyrics. So I feel like even if they heard it in Spanish, they would still know, like, what was going on. So I was like, I did that. And then this year, I picked, like, a Cheetah Girl song. But it's, like, a lullaby that they sang in, like, Spain when they went in, like, the movie and stuff. I feel like a lot of people knew it in the thing. But I sang that, and that was completely in Spanish. And then Selena's song, which was Como la Flor. And everybody knew that song. Like, everybody was singing. I really wasn't singing. I completely, if I'm being honest, Terrence told me that I might be singing 2 songs, but I wasn't, like, fully prepared. I was, like, I thought other people were going to take up more of the time, so I didn't fully, like, remember all the lyrics. So I had my phone with me, and I was like, hey, everybody knows it, so you sing. Go ahead. Remember, so I was like, hey, you do you.
How was the singing Tyler, the water?
I'm telling you, it was literally the day before. They were, like, I was practicing with the mic. We were doing, like, a practice, and Chris was there. So it was me and Chris, and we were just singing, blah, blah, blah. And I was practicing, and then I started, like, playing songs off my phone. And we were just, like, dancing and, like, singing, like, having fun. And then the African group came in. And then I put on Water. I didn't know they were doing that. So I put on Water, and then we were singing it. And then they were like, hey, we're doing that song. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And they were like, you kind of look like Tyler. And I was like, don't gas me up like that, because I'll believe you. And then I was singing the song. They were like, you kind of sound like her too. Hey, do you want to sing for us? And I was like, I'm already singing 2 songs, so I don't know. And then Terrence was like, Anna, I feel like that'd be really good, because everybody knows the song, and we'll get everybody hype and everything. Obviously, he didn't say that because it's Terrence, but he was just saying that, like, everybody knew it, and it would be, like, a good idea. So that day, that night, they were practicing, and I remember I literally was teaching them how to do the dance. Like, they were supposed to have this all figured out. The day before, they were, like, putting it all together, and then they were like, hey, are you gonna dance with us? I was like, I will do my singing, you guys can be the main stage, it'll be fine. And then they literally wanted to, like, get water bottles and do the whole thing, and I was like, that's too much, because the whole floor is gonna be wet. It's just a lot, but it was actually fun. A lot of people were there, and everybody was singing and stuff, and they were really hyped about it. So it ended up being, like, a good thing, and it ended up working out. So I'm glad I did it.
Did you expect that many people to be there? It was packed.
It was really packed. I honestly was expecting it to be kind of like that, but not as much as that was. Like, the first cultural night, there were a lot of people, and it was packed, but it wasn't that many. I feel like we were low-key. I think it might have been kind of my fault, even though it's a good thing. But we were, the Latina leaders, we were advertising our group in front of the DC on that Wednesday. So the cultural night was Thursday. So Terrence was like, even though you're advertising Latina leaders and trying to get people to be in your group, also advertise the cultural night and say that you're going to be there, just so that people know. So we were literally, I remember my friend JT and then this other guy came to our table, and they were literally harassing people. They're like, hey, you going to the cultural night? It's tomorrow. I expect you to see that. They were saying that to teachers too. They were like, hey, I better see you. Don't break your promise. Like, they were yelling at people. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So then a lot of people went by, and we were like, oh, do you want to come to the culture night? And they were like, oh, I didn't even know it was happening. So, like, we saw a lot of people that day, and we were telling everybody to go. So I think it was kind of low-key our fault that everybody came. But it's okay. At least we were there, There were a lot of people. There were a lot of people that weren't in the ACE program. Like, the first one, it was a lot of just, like, ACE kids. But this time, I feel like more teachers went, and more, like, just regular students also came to support. So I feel like that was good. And I think we had more performers, like, more of a mix of performers, even though it was, like, kind of the core, like, the Dominican Bombao and, like, the Pacific Islanders. Like, they're always doing it. But I feel like we had other people, like the African group that did that. I feel like we had a lot of different people, especially the guy with the ukulele at the end. That was really nice.
I think they said that, like, that just was playing that time.
Yeah, it was playing that day. I think he was, like, saying, like, he had sang, or his friends were saying that he sang, so they were like, can you please do it? Because we had a lot of people, like, bail, kind of. 3 or 4 people. So we were trying to fill the time. So then these two guys that went at the end, I don't think they were planned. I think it was just like heat of the moment. They needed people. So it ended up working out, and they were both really, really good. So hopefully they'll do it next fall.
It was great. That was a great night. A lot of people. I did not expect it to be that many people.
We were talking about it, like debating whether we should do it in the CCA.
Yeah, I remember you was telling me.
Yeah, but I think it was just gonna be hard, like bringing all the food up there. Yeah. And I feel like that was the only kind of reason why we didn't do it up there. But honestly, if it gets to be more packed, we might just have to move it there because there's a lot of people, especially with the seating and everything. Like there wasn't seating for everybody. Sure. So, yeah.
You're a freshman, right?
Yeah,
it was not that many. Like since I have been at AIC, I have not seen an event that packed.
Yeah, really?
At all.
That's good though. I'm glad. I mean, I think Terrence was really advertising it, and he wanted like people to come support and everything. And it's just like a fun thing. Like, I don't think any of it was like super serious. Like, people just came and like did what they had to do and just like had a good time. Like, I know people were like excited to see their friends perform and everything. Yeah. So I feel like it's just a good place for everybody to just come and like show off their culture and like support their friends and just have like good food at the end and everything. So I feel like that event is probably like one of the most kind of like important ones that we have on campus because really everybody just comes in together and just like celebrates. So.
I think a lot of people was there for the food.
Yeah, I think so. I think from last time they like learned that the food was gonna be really good.
About it and
That's why I gave Kamaris and them the idea of like the wristbands, just because last time they couldn't control it and everybody was going on different like sides, whereas like we wanted the fall one to just everybody go in one side and like performers go first, just because like the performers had been there from like 5 or 6 o'clock, even though it started at 7. Like we had been there early, so we didn't get a chance to grab something to eat before that or anything. So they wanted the performance to go first and all like the staff and like you and everything just to get their food first because everybody was there before. So I was like, why don't we just do wristbands? Like everybody that has silver was here and involved, and then everybody else who comes like early and actually comes to watch the whole thing. Because a lot of the problem last semester was that a lot of people came right at the end just to get the food, and they would like cut everybody. So we kind of had a problem with that. So I feel like the way that it was handled, it was better.
It was better. It was definitely better. And Camaris was in like the front, and then they wasn't letting people get.
They were not
extra plates or nothing
like at all. Like it was only if you were there at the end were they letting you get extra plates. But I feel like it's good. Like everybody can get an extra plate. I feel like a lot of people did too. Like it wasn't everybody was like filling. Everybody was filling their plates up, but there wasn't enough food where you could like almost half the people could get like a second round. So it actually worked out pretty well, and I feel like it just made it a lot more organized and like less people like getting mad and stuff for people cutting them and everything. So
I'm looking forward to it next year for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking forward to it. You gonna perform again?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you gonna do some more. You gonna dance this time? Or you gonna...
Maybe I'll dance. They wanted me to, but because of track, I couldn't like come to the practices and stuff. But maybe next year I will.
I remember Terrence mentioned you speaking in front of the board of trustees. How was that?
Yeah, so he picked like a few of us from all different grades, just that were part of the ACE program. Like Paola was there, Pedro was there. It was it was actually almost all the kids who were here earlier. Okay. They came, and we basically just went in front of them and just talked about like what the ACE program is and what the culture night like meant to us, and just like talking about how it's like a community, a place for everybody to just show their culture, and like the ACE program is just like kind of like a home and a way for everybody to group together, like first gen students and everything. So it was a little nerve-wracking at the beginning just because it's like all the people that are kind of in charge of like making these decisions and stuff, and the president was there too, like the past president, he was there. So it was just like a little nerve-wracking, and I was the only freshman there too, so it was like a little scary, but it was good. We just talked about like, it was really short, nice and sweet. We talked about like who performed and everything. Like I said that I performed, I sang and everything, so yeah, it was nice.
I gotta go talk in front of the board of trustees May 10th.
About what?
I gotta present my internship poster. So what am I walking into? I got any tips? Or I need to know anything?
I would say they're all really nice. Yeah. As long as you like just say like why you want it and like be a little personable. I feel like that was the reason why they were like super nice too, because they don't want to hear. I think when they do the board of trustees meeting, they're going over like schedules, like a bunch of boring stuff that like nobody wants to listen to and like be there for. So Terrence was telling us, he was like, they're very excited to hear about this because all they do is talk about all these boring things that have to be done, they're important, but just like using your own personality and like, I don't know,
Okay.
Talking about that
Okay.
definitely will help. I think so. It'll make you stand out.
I've looked at, because I'm not going to lie, I didn't know who the Board of Trustees were. Never met them. We never seen them the whole time, 4 years. A lot of people don't even know that's a thing.
Yeah.
So I thought the Board of Trustees were like the Michael Dodges, the presidents, the people that's in that building over there. So they're like, I look it up and I'm like, yo.
Yeah. It's not like just staff. It's like alumni and everything.
Yeah. Somebody worked for Pillsbury, Mass Mutual, president of Mercy Hospital. Like, I'm looking at these. I'm like, we should have a lot more money. Something's
I know.
wrong.
I'm like, hey, do you want to fund the track program a little bit?
Fund something.
Just a little bit. Maybe let's fix the fact that, like, some of the buildings are falling down.
Which one's falling down?
No, they're not falling down. It's just, like, they're very, like, old. Like, the dorm buildings, a lot of it needs to be upgraded.
Which one you saying?
I'm in Magna.
Magna? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just a lot. Like, our door was broken for a good month. Like, you could just walk in. Yeah.
Like the front door? To get it?
Like, when you have to put your key? It was just broken. Like, you could just walk in. And if you need the code, you can just go in the whole building. The only thing that I, like, was not very happy about is that there's no security. Like, when I go to my boyfriend's dorm, he lives in another college. Yeah. But there's, like, in Magna, like, you walk into his dorm, you have to have your ID. And he has to, like, fill out a form for you to be there. Magna, everybody can walk in. You can have as many.
It used to be like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was like that last year.
I know they have it in some buildings, but, like, they didn't have it at all for this building.
It's not in no buildings.
No.
We don't got security in no buildings no more.
Nope.
They changed it. But last year it was because they stopped. Security is at the building that burnt down. So they make sure no trespassers or.
I thought that it only, like, hurt it a little bit. I didn't know they had to take off the whole roof.
Because I guess you can't just.
Yeah, just fix one part of it. Maybe it's because it's old, too.
Yeah, they rebuilding it, so basically they're saying...
Are they rebuilding the whole thing?
Nah, just the roof part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just the roof part.
What even was in there? Like, what classes?
Nursing. It was a nursing building.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, nursing building, yeah.
I feel like everybody I talk to that's in my classes are all, like, nursing students.
It's a lot of people that we will never see on this campus that are in those buildings because they're just commuters.
Yeah, I feel like we do have a lot of commuters. Like, so many.
So many that it's not even funny. Like,
I feel like the only people that actually live on campus are, like, athletes.
Really? Because you're not really coming here for an athlete. You're going to a bigger school. You want more of a college experience, party-wise and things like that. But,
Hey, if you're a nursing student and you live here, it's like you get in-state tuition too, especially since you have to do so much schooling for that too. Yeah. So I feel like that's a good thing.
In-state tuition probably definitely help.
Yeah.
But we increase every year. It's
getting kind of bad.
Yeah, I hope we don't increase too much next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it really affects me.
I don't know if they will though, because since we lost the president, and then also with like the meal, you know how we like Mondo's got taken away and stuff, like they're kind of losing the little bit of like appeal that they had. So if you make it like higher and then you're also taking things away, I don't think that's gonna be beneficial.
Take away the Mondo, you take away the breakfast, like.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
What are we doing?
It's just a lot, especially since it's like, why are we paying so much? Like, what are we paying to like? Pay that much? Like, what are we getting from the amount of things that we pay?
Just school.
We only have 2 things that are available, like, for food. And then, like, I go to every college, and there's something that you can get at least for 24 hours. Like, past 10 o'clock, like, sometimes I came from my meet. They do give us, like, food. But sometimes I, like, we don't eat the whole day, so I'll eat what they give me, but then I'm still hungry, and I just can't get anything because it's past 10 o'clock or, like,
Got all the Domino's and pay $30 for one pizza.
Yeah. And then it's like, we have our dining dollars, but those go away so quick. The only thing that they're giving us is the wings over. Wings over.
You had it yet?
No, I didn't. I ran out of bucks. I couldn't get it.
I got $40 left.
You got $40 left? Wow. There's only a week left. You better use all of it. Your money's worth.
I got to stay here for senior week because I graduate, so I'm going to use it like that last week.
I think they closed it, though, at the 7th.
Nah, I asked them. They don't. She said she's going to keep it open.
They did? Because they sent an email.
Yeah, I know, but I just asked. I'm going to ask her again just to make sure.
Because sometimes they be lying. Because when they closed down the sandwiches, they said, we're going to close it down this date. Yeah, and they closed it down a day early. So better check, because imagine you have $20 left and then they close it.
Like, I need everything.
Yeah.
I need everything we're owed, but...
Get your money's worth.
Yeah. You got any shout-outs before we get out of here? Any shout-outs to anybody?
I guess shout out to all my Magna residents that I live with.
Yeah.
Not you, police. We have beef. It's okay. But yeah, it was nice talking to you.
Nah, for sure. I appreciate you for coming on Necessary Conversations. You got to just do me one favor. Get Terrence to come on here.
I literally have been trying, like, for the cultural night, we literally drag him to take pictures. Like, he does not like being on camera at all.
I don't know. He will push everybody to do it.
Yes, but he won't do it. He's funny.
Crazy
I'll
guy.
try.
I appreciate you coming on Necessary Conversations. I'm your host, Saleem, and we out.